Each episode will scrutinize a civilization's founding myth, investigate its archaeological record, and use philology to demonstrate a simple truth:
that the history of the world is largely only the history of the Aryan man. But who were the Aryans? Today, modern academics claim the term Aryan is, at best, an obsolete social self-appellation, and at worst, a largely pseudo-historical term promoted by uneducated neo-Nazis. However, this is a purposeful obfuscation, as the word Aryan is an ancient word deeply tied to Indo-European man. Two peoples historically referred to themselves as Aryans. The first were the speakers of Sanskrit, one of the oldest Indo-European languages. These same people were the authors of the Vedas, the oldest religious texts of Hinduism. The appellation derives from the Sanskrit word Arya, meaning noble, honorable, or, more specifically, of good family.
The second were the Iranians, whose very name derives from the word Arya, meaning, again, of noble, good family. In fact, the word Iran translates directly to land of the Aryan. In both cases, the appellation Aryan was brought to South Asia by an Indo-European tribe branched off from a common ancestral land in what is now the northern Caucasus. More recently, it is theorized that the Vedic Indians and the Iranian peoples split from the Andronovo culture of the north. Both tribes were of demonstrably different physical type from the indigenous locals they encountered. How do we know this? Let's look to philology for an answer. Take the meaning of Arya, of good family. While today, we might assume the Platonic definition of the word good, a universal good, good had a much different meaning for the ancients. In Twilight of the Gods, Nietzsche explains, in reality the criterion of what is good was not based on others, on those to whom goodness is shown. It was invented by a dominant caste, imbued with the pathos of distinction and distance, in contradistinction to what members of the dominant caste regarded as bad, as low-minded, mean, and vulgar. What was good, in those distant times, was what the ruling caste decided was good, and imposed on the rest of society. The various adjectives invented by the aristocratic ruling class to distinguish the good, the noble, the brave, the Sanskrit Arya, the Greek agates, the Latin bonus, the German gut, the Gaelic fin, from their bad, common, craven opposites, the German schelpt, the Greek deli, or the Latin malus. Therefore, of good family, meant of a dominant caste stock, a compatriot, of a common ancestral origin, in distinction to an alien, foreign heritage. In many cases, the physicality of this distinction was apparent in the very words used to describe them. The Latin malus, coming from the Greek word melas, or black, may designate the common man as the dark-colored, above all, as the black-headed man. As the pre-Aryan occupant of the soil of Italy, who was distinguished most obviously, from the blonde, that is Aryan, conqueror race, by his color. Gaelic, at any rate, offers us a precisely similar case. Fin, the distinguished word for nobility, finally for the good, noble, pure, originally meant blonde-headed, in contradistinction to the dark, black-haired Aboriginal inhabitants. We find the dawn of history two distinct types of man, the fair-haired and the dark-haired. The foundation of the former was the blonde beast of prey, a race of conquerors and masters, with military organization, with the power to organize, unscrupulously placing their fearful paws upon a population perhaps vastly superior in numbers, but still amorphous and wandering, this herd founded the state. In simpler words, the Aryan created civilization, and without the Aryan, there never was, nor would be, civilization. As Nietzsche explains, while the term Aryan may specifically refer to the group of Indo-Europeans who ventured off easterly, other Indo-Europeans had their own terms with the same meaning behind it. But whether Hellenic, Roman, Germanic, Scandinavian, these marauding tribes were of a common fair type. And this series will aim to prove this. For the sake of clarity, we will use the term Aryan in the way early 20th century historians did. The ethno-racial clan of people who spoke Proto-Indo-European and who had their origins in the vicinity of the North Caucasus in 5000 BCE. The tribe who would spread and invade all of Asia, Europe, and the Middle East and impose themselves upon the locals. The noble, aristocratic, or white ruling race, in contradistinction to the aboriginal, darker races which they brought into servitude. Welcome, again to the Aryan Founder series, where we will prove that, despite the post-World War II taboo, all civilizations were founded by the fair-skinned, fair-haired noble warrior tribes who are the direct ancestors to all modern European white man. Next episode, we will start with the most seemingly outrageous Aryan founding.